So how can you use Journal if you want to focus on building your personal brand? One of the great things about Journal is that you've got space to add in a business logo, and on the different design templates that you've got built in, you can add your logo on the bottom right-hand side or various different places depending on which style of post you're creating. What we've done when you're a small business, what you do is you add in a 200 by 500 pixel image, and that becomes your logo, and then that will appear on every single slide. But what if you don't want to put on a business logo? Well, something that has worked really well when I've used this for personal brand posts is rather than putting in a business logo, I like to include instead a almost like influencer profile photo with my name and handle. And I just want to show you how to do this. So I'm heading into Canva and I'm going to set up a 500 by 200 pixel logo file so that I can upload it into Journal in the same way I would with a normal logo file. But what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to add in an element, and I'm going to look for a photo. I want like a circle frame. So if you see these kind of social media posts where you have like an influencer's sort of name and handle, that's what we're trying to achieve. So I've got this one, which has got a sort of gold ring around the edge of it. I like to use that in my own branding, but you can also have just a plain circle, or you can have one with a different colored line, and you could customize the color of that line around the edge to fit with whatever your branding is. I'm going to stick with this gold one though. Then what I'm going to do next is I'm going to find a photo of myself. So I've got a photo here that I use generally for my own branding. And then what I'm going to do, so I've just dragged that from my uploads into that photo frame. And then what I'm going to do is add in some text. So I'm just going to make sure that I'm using my own brand kits. And I'm going to add in my name here. And I want to make sure this is nice and big because this is going to appear quite small on the slide. So I do need to try and make up as much space as I can. Right, that's on brand for me. And then the other thing that I want to do is add in my social media handle. I'm going to pop that in. I'm going to make that a bit smaller, that one. But what I want to do is sort of line them up next to each other. You can choose two elements in Canva and you can group them, which means you can move everything around together. And I'm just going to use that center line, that pink center line that comes up to help me sort of position where that's going to go. Now I've stretched that right out to the edge, but I'm happy with that. What I'm going to do now is download that. I'm going to download it with a transparent background. And what that means is it will overlay this image of me with the text on every slide. So if I go into Journal now, and I'm going to delete that logo file that I've uploaded, and instead I'm going to upload my new sort of influencer style image. And then you can see it pops it on the bottom there for me. And that works for a sort of influencer style post. Now, the challenge with this is because it isn't a flat logo file. If I was to choose something like the, when you can recolor your logo, if I click black, that circle is, the photo of me is just going to go completely black. So there's nothing I can really do there. So I need to stick with the colored option on all of my slides. But I think if you're trying to put something out and you want to put out an image that shows you quote posts, particularly with this kind of thing, if you want to put a quote out and have your name on it, this is the kind of thing that you'd like to be putting out if you're using it from a personal brand point of view. The other thing to know is that when you're creating a post in Journal, you don't have to include one of our templated designs at all. So if you're thinking like for a quote post, this is fine. But if I was putting out some sort of post about my everyday life, I might not want to be using this kind of style of post. I might be more likely just to use a photo or a selfie of myself. You can create posts and just upload your own photo. So to do that, you click on create post, or if you're working in the queue, for example, let's go to the queue. I actually think that, I maybe haven't saved my logo. So I'm just going to go and check that I've done that. Oh no, it's saved. We're fine. Right. Let's go to the queue. That's usually where you'd be creating content from. And I've got a post that needs to go out on the 26th about my favorite things. So let's say I quick create that. And then let's say I'm happy with that post. What I can do then is I can just, rather than choosing one of the templates, I can instead use caption/image. And if I go to media, then I can upload any photo of my own that I want to. So here's a photo being uploaded, done. So now this is just going to appear as a photo. So I've got my text, and this is the way that often people are posting from a personal brand point of view. There is one other thing that we are working on behind the scenes. So it's July 2025 right now. So this may have been improved, but I just want to show you an option at the moment that you have. If you don't want to choose one of those templates, if you scroll down on the content type, you may also have an option for template. So if you click on template, it puts your logo in the top corner of the slide. Now you can see that mine has got a black background on here, and you might have this problem as well. To change that, we can go into the advanced editor. So when you are on, when you're in your post, you've got your caption, your media, which is where you upload your file, and then you can click on design, and there is an editor. So you can go in and open the editor, and I can click on this logo here. And where it says fill, I want to remove that fill. So I'm going to click on the little I here so that it's disabled. And then it's taken that fill away and it's put my logo in there instead. Sometimes if we want to kind of put a bit of a watermark on our photos to say, you know, this is mine, it can be useful to put that kind of thing on as well. So I'm going to save and exit. So now I can put my post out and I can include my photo, and I can, or if I want to, I can put my logo on there as well. And then I can approve that to my feed. And then when it gets to the 25th, that post, when it gets to the 25th, that post will go out as well.